Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on how to uncover the lies of a covert narcissist, male or female. The covert narcissist has all the typical hallmarks and traits of an overt narcissist. However, they are just really under the radar. They're not very pronounced. They don't have a very outgoing personality style. However, they tend to allure people who enjoy taking care of them. So they tend to attract very high energy, go-getter, achiever, decisive type of partners. And this initially seems like a great compliment for the covert narcissist, because you've got one who's kind of like laid back, and then you've got the other one who's constantly making arrangements, making the schedule, planning things, deciding where we go, really the high energy to the low energy, the balance between the yin and the yang. The yang being the strong, energetic, and aggressive side, and then the yin being the more passive, yielding, submissive side. So looking at how to really uncover the narcissist when you have a covert narcissist, in other words, someone who is really very submissive, very yielding, yet you feel like they're not really bringing it all to the table. They're not really bringing their A game. Something is really going on. You're not meeting halfway as a successful relationship would, or you would anticipate and expect. The covert narcissist, like all narcissists, they have a great emphasis on themselves and what they are to derive out of the relationship or the situation. So the way that they keep control and the way they keep themselves as the center focal point is they're able to basically shut down, shut out, basically bar off all forms really of communication with the people who they're in relationship with. Very low amounts of effort going into verbal communication. Very low effort amounts of going into physical signs of affection. Very low amounts of being forthright and taking the helm, showing responsibility for things. They really tend to hang in the background. In fact, the covert narcissist will often retreat, seem extremely meek, very quivery in their voice, not have a very guttural sound, not a very strong presence. Yet, they are defending off people through what is called covert narcissism, where they're able to, through a really lack of empathy and lack of participation in the relationship, they're able to essentially, for lack of a better word, suck all the energy, suck all the attention, suck all the focus out of the people and relationships around them. So even though they might seem like they are the provider, they might seem like they are the fantastic mate, they might seem like they're the fantastic boss, it is in their really withholding and inaction that they are doing a disservice into the relationship, and it's done really with a sense of knowing. In other words, there's a lot of blame shifting that goes on due to their lack of responsibility and being able to have kind of a value sense. In other words, this is what I believe in. You really don't know what the covert narcissist believes in. A great viewer had described this, and I'll have to pull it up, but it's essentially where they're not able to substantiate a lot of their values. They don't have kind of a value center as a person. In other words, things that they really stand for, things that they really represent. They might be easygoing. I mean, that might just be their personality, but you don't get a lot of other sort of edgy or opinions from them or a value. And what happens is this person really does have a lot of values, but they're keeping it all right up here, and they're keeping it all in, but they're really lacking kind of a heart. They have kind of a very superior mindset about themselves. In other words, they tend to insubordinate others by not participating in the communication. So being very standoffish, you would think, well, how can that harm anybody? It's because of the air. It's because of the attitude. It's because of the intangible je ne sais quoi that you can't really put your finger on, but because they just skate on by, they skirt on by without giving common acknowledgement, common courtesy, common care, common concern. They're really kind of like frozen. even though they might appear outwardly to be in that position. In other words, owning a home, having a 401k, having a job, having certain responsibilities. You would wonder, how did this person arrive at these capabilities and these, ascend to these heights in life, yet be so underperforming in terms of relationships? There's a real disconnect. There's a real cognitive dissonance there between their ability and then what they give to others. So how do you really identify if they're lying? Oftentimes, people wonder, well, I know that the narcissist is all about themselves and they lack empathy, and how do we really know? How do we really get them to emerge, and how do we get them to come out from underneath their mask and kind of expose their lies? Well, for one, you can go ahead and confront them and just, ask them some very general questions. What guiding principles really run your life? See if they can come up with anything. When you ask them, about their history or their childhood, what was most important to you growing up? Ask some personality disclosing questions. See if they have any values. What's most important to you in your future? What kind of life would you like for the two of us? What kind of life would you like for our children? How do you expect to show your values, and how do you expect to contribute to them? How do you expect to outwardly show that? Why do you, why do you, constantly feel the need to hide? Why do you retreat to the garage? What are you doing in the garage? What are you doing in the basement? Why, when we get together for family events, do you always disappear into the basement to take shots and hang up and then come up for a while and then not talk to anybody? What are you doing down there? What purpose is this serving you? So almost calling them out and getting them to elaborate on their behaviors is a way for you to give a little test. See if they do have that ability to communicate. See if you can open up the barrel a little bit. See if you can get them to expand on it. Because if they've been shutting down, shutting out, if you're in a relationship with them or contemplating being in a relationship with them, you absolutely positively deserve to have an explanation of how they view your future and, together, and what can you expect from each other. I mean, I'm not saying necessarily a prenuptial, but at least you need to have some common terms. If you feel like you cannot have common terms with this person, they cannot come out and say, I want to be a homeowner, I want to live by the lake, I want to, be able to take vacations with you, and I want to be such and such a father to the kids. And we hold each other accountable. If there's got to be that accountability in relationships, because what ends up happening is the other who's in the relationship with a covert ends up doing all the work, and it just escapes their mind. They're so busy taking care of things that they don't really see the lack that is dissolving in front of them day by day, moment by moment, until really years are into the relationship, and they're like, this guy just got out of having to do half of the input and participation of the relationship. He wasn't a leader when he needed to step up. He was not guiding the children when they needed guidance. He did not show any affection or communication in the family. He was very stoic. There's the strong and silent type, but then there's the covert narcissist type, who really exploits, takes advantage, and hurts other people by their withholding. And chances are they know exactly what they're doing. So call them out, expose them, see if you can delve into some answers that you have the right absolutely to explore and have on the table as common terms with them. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please do share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.